Today we're going to be talking 49ers football. Big storylines coming up for this week. We got, we got a lot to go over. It's going to be a Sunday night football matchup against the 49ers Eagles. Should be good. Let's just start off with this running back situation we got going with the 49ers. We got Raheem Mostert out, as well as what's his name? Tevin Coleman is out as well. So we're going to have a limited roster of running backs. But we did end up pulling up a stud who got to shine last week, JaMycal Hasty. He didn't shine, but he showed flashes of greatness that he could be a good player. So, but our depth chart at running back seems to be Jerick McKinnon, Jeff Wilson Jr., and JaMycal Hasty. So you'll probably see, if Jeff Wilson is in there, you'll probably see Kyle Shanahan, mix in a couple plays with the pass game with Jeff Wilson. He's usually the guy that ends up being the more of the he's usually the passing running back, and so I expect him to be more of the passing game. And then if you see a lot of movement in the backfield, usually Jerick McKinnon will be around there. But I see JaMycal Hasty going for a good couple chunks of yards, especially since he's going to have a good amount of carries, because Jerick McKinnon, he had a hip injury, or not a hip, I think it was a rib injury last week. And so I expect him to have minimal carries this week, so we'll see. But so you might see JaMycal Hasty go for a good amount of yards. We'll see. But him, JaMycal Hasty, Jerick McKinnon, Jeff Wilson, you're going to see them. But yeah, I think Jeff Wilson is going to be big in the passing game, because you might see Kyle Shanahan mix in a few weird plays. You're probably going to see Ross Dwelley and Jeff Wilson do some weird stuff this week. It's going to be an interesting week, because Kyle Shanahan is going to have to dice up some good plays this week, because you got a 0-3 practically Eagles team that doesn't look too good right now. So, if you're going to have a hungry Eagles team, and so Kyle Shanahan needs to expect the worst in this game, I believe, because hungry teams can shock just about anybody. I mean, I feel like at this point, Carson Wentz is trying to prove himself. I think at this point you could see him go head-to-head with Patrick Mahomes at this point and give him a run for his money, because the Eagles are pissed. So I expect them to play better than people expect. But I think Kyle Shanahan will put in a good game plan to counteract that. But the next topic is, I did mention the hungry Eagles and how they're probably going to be playing better. But is Debo still a question mark this week, or is he going to play, basically? It seems, with his mentality, it seems like he will play, because Debo's Debo, and he's like Kittle to me. He's going to find a way to play. He's going to beg the coach. If it comes down to it, it won't be Debo's decision. It'll be the coach's decision, like saying, hey, no, like you need to sit out. You need to sit out, because it obviously would have to be serious enough, because he's ready to go. He's ready to go 100%. He's mentally there for that. And so I think that unless his foot injury is really bad, which I don't believe it will be, I think he plays this week. And I think Kittle's also been said to play by the coaches. So you're going to see a good Niner team without their starting quarterback, obviously, but Nick Mullins can handle business, as we saw last week. And you should see some interesting plays with Debo and Ayuk probably going reverse status. You never know. Like, you never know with Shanahan. So you could see a lot of interesting plays with, now we got like 2 number 1 wide receivers in the future. Brandon Ayuk looks amazing, and Debo Samuel proved himself last year. And then you throw in Kittle, so you're focusing all your attention on these different receivers and different tight ends. So Shanahan has a lot of juice to play with because Kendrick Bourne also looks amazing. Every time you throw to him this year, he's totally taken advantage of his catches, and I think he's gonna thrive this year in certain situations. But yeah, the 49ers are looking good this week. I think that when Jimmy Garoppolo gets back, he's going to be so happy because he's going to have so many weapons now that he didn't have halfway through week one. He didn't have Kittle after half the game. He didn't have Debo. He didn't have Ayuk. I mean, he basically had Kendrick Bourne, Dante Pettis, and Trent Taylor. So, like, our backup receivers. So you throw in Debo, Ayuk. I mean, I see the Niners still making it to the playoffs, but it's going to be a rough road unless injuries just paralyze us again because they really stunned us. We got really lucky with our schedule this year. So I'm expecting us to make a rapid improvement this year. And, the Niners will look good, I believe, and we will improve. But, yeah, Debo coming back is going to be huge for us. I was watching the Rich Eisen show, or Rich Eisen podcast the other day. I think it was yesterday, and John Lynch was on, and they were talking the Jimmy Garoppolo injury. And I feel like the Niners are kind of playing it up a little bit because, you see, I mean, he was limping on the field and stuff in that whole gig, but it seemed like an injury he could have literally, I mean, he didn't injure it more before he went into the locker room in the second half. He went, oh, I'm limping, I'm hurting, to, okay, I'm out for this game, and I'm going to be out for 2 more weeks. I think that the Niners are kind of playing it up, or, I mean, they are kind of playing it safe, but at the same time, they're also, they also immediately said it was going to be like a 4 to 6 week injury. He was playing on it for, I mean, half of the first half. So it can't be that bad, but I do commend the Niners for not rushing him back in and then him tearing his ACL again, because Jimmy Garoppolo would not be our guy in the future because we've seen his digression or we've seen him go down in skill level ever since he tore his ACL originally. He he seems more like jittery in the backfield. He doesn't throw off his back foot as much. He throws off his back foot. He doesn't push forward with his back foot. I'm sorry. His whole footwork is kind of off, and so I think the Niners are trying to use this as a learning experience for Jimmy to try and get him into his comfort zone, and also I think they played it smart with making sure that he stayed out, but I definitely think that Jimmy G could have played last week and this week. He could have played the second half, but they would have been risking it. So, yeah, I do think that the Niners are kind of playing it up, but at the same time, I feel like it's good what they're doing because Jimmy would probably end up getting hurt again. And I think that Jimmy Garoppolo is definitely going to play next week. If not next week, then the week after that. And even if he doesn't play next week, we play the Dolphins, so it's not a big deal. We're playing the Dolphins, and so we'll see how that goes, but I don't see that being a big problem.